Who knows? Little kids, man. There's a good chance that 1 or 2 or 3 kids show up on this podcast because
I was watching some of your previous episodes and I was going to warn you about mine, and then I realized that like we'll be in here together. I got 5 running around in here.
Yeah, and like I think there's no right way to parent, right? No. There's some wrong ways to parent maybe, but there's no right way to parent. And as a business owner, I don't want to like force my kids to be interested in their business, but when they're naturally like, oh, what's dad doing? Always doing a podcast, always doing business stuff. I'm like, come on in.
Let's
like
go.
We're all doing this thing together. We got families, we're running businesses, and we ain't hiding that. Ain't nobody hiding that. I couldn't hide it if I wanted to. They're louder than I am. Crazy.
That's a job.
These kids are crazy, man. Somebody's got to watch these shysters. Their name is Mom. That person's name is Mom. This is the one.
Great job to have. Thankful to have good ones.
Crushes it. All right, I got in honor of Dave's sobriety. I'm taking a night off. I got some lime LaCroix. Hey, I'm not trying to brag here, but every year I take a month off to just like, I don't know, make sure.
Well, you guys just do a little tap, little check-in, just make sure.
Yeah, like how we doing here? Do I like beer or do I need beer? That's a fair question. It's a fair question.
Every rational person has vices. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta, if you are not self-aware enough to understand, like you need something to be a little dependent on just to like get through and to whatever level. It had been we had just celebrated 4 years of not drinking.
Saw that.
And like then if you would have told me that 5 years ago, I would have told you were insane. Like never. We'd never consider anything like that. I think that everyone should do what they like, what makes them happy, what they can keep under whatever level of control that they want to. But I hope to never impose any level of what I do is the right thing.
It is like a maturity thing to like be honest with yourself about though. Like, I mean, the hardest thing to do, and this goes beyond drugs and alcohol and anything else. This goes into running a business. And we see it with like recruiting all the time. I own half a higher lead chill. And so like we see business owners trying to recruit and they can't look themselves in the mirror, right? Nobody wants to work anymore. These kids are so lazy. And it's like, they're just the alcoholic that's dependent on their bullshit excuses because they can't look in the mirror and be like, this is my problem. And this is a me thing. Cause yes, I'm aware there's hundreds, millions of other businesses out there that are recruiting people and have great employees and do a really good job. And mine doesn't. And so I got to find somebody else to blame instead of the dude in the mirror. It's all over the place. It's all around us. Just look in the mirror.
Accountability is an interesting thing as your business grows. Because what I've found, and I getting old, man. I've been doing this like 16 years now, and
it's wild,
insane. But if I really look back and I think about it, it's like any successes that I've had or looked back on or been thankful for. Any of that stuff was limited by where I was at personally. Like how honest was I being with myself? How much was I letting my ego make my decisions? How much of a reactive slack sniper was I being to whatever level? And just like, I think I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day about how like you get a business owner talking like, Dan, what's a business owner's favorite thing to talk about?
Our business.
Always.
Like what is there another thing to talk about? Sometimes
I don't think so. But what's fascinating, a lot of consultants, you're into this stuff too. It's like when you look at like, it's hard to get a business owner to be accountable sometimes. So instead of asking them like, what are your flaws? What are they like? Just tell me what's wrong with your business a little bit. And then you gotta lead them down the bed. Like, here's that mirror coming up a little. It's just, I don't know, man. Fascinating.
I told Sean, who runs Higher Lead Chill, I told him, like, when you get a new client, you should send them like a gift basket. And in that gift basket should be a little mirror. And like you can have a little note that says like, hey, whenever your recruiting's not working, we got you this. So you can remember like why it's not working. Because it's a leadership thing. It's always a leadership thing. And are you really making a job that people want and like doing a great job for your employees? Or are you doing nothing for them and expecting them to do everything for you? What do you think?
It's
easier said than done. That's for sure. But
a little bit easier said than done, I think.
But that's part of the journey. It's part of the fun.
Absolutely.
What do you got? I mean, you got dope. You still doing Lion's Share? You got the exterior cleaning company still, or what are you doing with
So
that?
get this, man. I've been pretty hands off with that past 7-8 years. And last year, my brother-in-law, we got our GC license for
Oh, no
Lion's
kidding.
Share. We did like 45 roofs last Q3 and Q4. They're rocking and rolling. I feel so responsible because I have no clue what's going on with any of it at all. But it's been a really interesting journey to see, just like fortunate to have met some really smart people in all different types of trades through my career, but especially like with Dope as that company has grown. And I just leaned on a couple of my buddies that had done this, duplicated a couple of times. Like, hey, my wife is way smarter than I am. She's got her hands on this thing. Can we pay you guys to kind of show us how to set it up? And it took, I don't know, 6-8 months, but man, the conservative projections this year, they think they're going to do like $7-8 million in sales. It's wild, but it's also, it goes back to that relativity of business. So to answer your question, yes, Lion's Share is still rocking and rolling. That team is killing it. Really, really thankful. I'm gonna end up, Jeff. If you're watching, I don't mean to spoil the surprise, but I'm gonna basically give that company to my brother-in-law and my wife for them to kind of like. I still technically am 100% owner.
On paper,
but yeah, we're gonna work something out where they can just kind of take that thing and take it where it needs to go.
Take it over. Yeah. What was the catalyst? And we'll probably like jog back down memory lane over and over and over again. What I think when I first met you or heard about you or saw you, like I was your competitor. I was just joining Blue Skies in that business. And so like was getting my feet wet. This was back in 2015, 2016. Was like just starting to really understand the exterior cleaning space. And our businesses were both in that, like, I think sub $1 million range, 6 to 8 employees, figuring it out, probably bitching a lot about who wants to show up to work and why, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Was there a catalyst for you where like the lid came off or the ceiling came off of like, we see so many people get stuck in that kind of upper hundreds of thousands or right around $1 million is a really like,
that's a good, in those industries, that's a very like ceiling right there for sure.
It's super sticky. Was there a catalyst for you as a like business grower, business owner, leader, where you're like, oh, this was it. This was my bottleneck. This was what was wrong with me in the mirror, whatever set you free.
Dan, as I've gotten older, man, and I think if I would have asked myself back then 10 years ago, I just turned 40 back in November. So if I would have asked myself at 30, like most of us, I probably would have listened a little bit better than when I was 25. But like I saw that we could do those numbers relatively consistently of like that, 700, 800,000, like that type. And I remember doing it a couple of years in a row. It's just like, this is either going to take me needing to get like way, way more involved to fix it. Who's the Ryan down in Phoenix? I always look at as a guy who like was in it and did it and took it further. I think that like with I had another thing going on with that close the job, with that proposal thing I was doing for years, and learned so much from that business. And I just knew that like, I think what it takes I'll group a couple of those industries together, whether it's like window cleaning, exterior cleaning. I think you put like gutter installation would kind of be in here. Some of those trades, Christmas light installation, where it's like that ceiling of $1 million a year. I remember feeling it and was just like, I don't think I can make that much more. Like, I think that we were like being in Minneapolis or the Twin Cities, we're limited.
You got 8 months. You get 8 months.
Deep seasonality. And this was before the Christmas light stuff got really, really big. Like I remember we were into that a little. It was like our 4th, 5th year in business. And that company's 16 years old now. So it was like right around this time you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I remember getting into that stuff, but I was super involved, man. Like I was ordering the product and I was dealing with it and going through, and I just was like, I remember one night I was talking with Barin, with my wife, and I was just like, this thing is just unsolvable problems every day. Like you don't, and not that that's bad. I think that can be very motivating by someone that's like this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm really good at. I was never the best technician, and I'm a shitty fucking manager. Like the things that I think that it takes to really take, and this, I'll take the financial step down, like to cross that break of 250, to cross that break of 500, to cross that break of 750,000 in revenue is like, you got to get to know yourself a little bit better, but also like whether you know you're doing it or not, kind of like make some commitments of what you're going to do with your time. And I think for me, I was just learning in those phases of like how to be an entrepreneur, or how to hire people, or what the hell, how to spell KPI, like all these things that just never came to me naturally. And I remember watching us do, you know, like 700, 800,000, a couple of years in a row. And I was like, man, these $100,000 months, I remember were the goal. And now I keep hitting my head on them. It's like, we got to hire more people, but then I got these extra trucks and they're not busy and I got to pay for them and this insurance and this stuff. And it just, when I tell these stories, I try to hold my chain down because I don't want to like demoralize anyone that's going through this. You can make an amazing living in a seasonal market of a home service company. I just kind of like, and where I think I relate to a lot of business owners here, especially if you're in a seasonal one in the winter, I just always had a desire for more, but when I've reflected on that, I never really knew what it was. It was like, whatever you
more for the sake of more.
It was a God-sized hole. It was a zero that I didn't know what would fill it. It was a thing that I was chasing because, like, I think a lot of us also, you have this grass is always greener. Look at what this person's doing, imposter syndrome. And if I really look back to my early and mid 30s, it was like, I let the fact that I'm an optimist, always half full.
Oh, yeah.
But I think when you don't set goals, which is something I've never been good at, you can get very distracted by the fact that literally anything's possible. But then it's like, what are you trying to do? And I got lost for years in a good way on just like wanting more, not really knowing what it was because I had never really sat down and been like, well, if it stayed like this forever, would I be happy? And then like really like sitting with that and taking a step back and setting some goals and looking at some things that maybe we didn't have or couldn't do that I wanted to. And I think that's where like the screws started to tighten a little bit for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. I mean, we see it all the time with entrepreneurs, especially with that like $1 million thing. You talk to anybody that's sub $1 million, it's like, what are your goals? Trying to get to $1 million. And then my next question is why?
like what's going to happen?
I did. I was given a presentation at Ryan Lee's Light It Up Expo a few weeks ago. And since I had to restart a bookkeeping business, I reckoned with that like big time. Cause at Blue Skies, I had investors. And so like, therefore my goal was to make them more money, right? Like that was what we were there for, was to try to grow and for the sake of making money. And I was like, damn, that's not, I hit a realization when I picked my head up, because for a while I was just running as hard as I could with my head down. Like I will just outwork everybody.
Everyone.
Like, let's go. I can out hustle and out grind everybody. As I'm saying this, I see JC posted 2 hours ago about like, why are we still like obsessed with burning ourselves out and like wearing it like a badge? I'm like, yeah,
that was so like 5 years ago. Like,
yeah, that was me. And then like when I finally picked my head up, it was this stark realization of like, who am I building this thing for? Like, shouldn't I be building, like, not that I disliked my business partners, but it's like, shouldn't I be building this for my wife and my kids and like my team? And I don't like, I'm not that I'm not an investor mindset, but I just think about investing way differently. And so I had to really reckon with the why, like, why the hell am I doing this? Because I got in that trap of just like, I'm here to grow this thing and I'm growing it because you're supposed to grow it, because I was told that I'm supposed to grow stuff and we need to make some people some money. And when I rebuilt this, it prompted me to dig deep and really look in the mirror of like, what if I'm going to rebuild this thing from zero, which, as we know, sucks starting over. It sucks. And so like for a year, okay, I'm just going to not make money for a year. Right. Thank God my wife, I don't know why she likes me. Like, still don't know. Right. Like got a couple screws loose that one, but thank God they're loose in my favor. But so I was speaking down at Ryan's event, and that like, giving a presentation on that why. And I love to get to the $1 million mark and be like, you guys know when you hit $1 million, there's the parade, right? And then there's the confetti And you know, you get all the ladies in the bikinis following you around with the big
Welcome.
signs saying way to go. There's all of that. When you hit 1 million, that's like, it just shows up.
They're just waiting.
And so funny we're talking about this. Literally, I was recording something yesterday for Debbie Sardone and Cleaning Business Fundamentals, like a playbook. And I was doing a financial analysis as part of this playbook on my own business. And I looked at our trailing 12 months. And we tipped over 1 million in our trailing 12. Like, we'll probably do 100 in March, I think. Yeah. But we tipped over the million in the trailing 12. And that was the first time I saw it. And I was like, oh, looky there. Oh, damn. Like, confetti. Where, you guys, where is the confetti? Like, there's got to be more to this. Trevor Williams Steele in the house here. Great present. Thanks, Trevor. Thank you. Appreciate it. He did say, never seen Dan so quiet. It's hard to shut me up sometime. Scotty chimed in too. Scotty Little, who not how. But I do think that's so funny. We all, when we start our businesses, we're so obsessed with the marketing and the growth and the revenue and like, we got to push this thing. And it's, again, probably just back to the thing in the mirror is we don't really reckon with ourselves of why, who are we doing it for? What are we doing it for? What does it mean? Who does it help? And that's a son of a bitch when you get to that, like, close to 1 million and you realize, oh, maybe I don't actually want this set of problems. Oh, it actually doesn't make as much money at 1 million as I thought it would. Oh, I've got 10 other people on my team and now I've got all their problems. Yeah. And maybe I don't want all those problems or this job because I just like washing stuff. I just like doing HVAC stuff. I just like putting in lights, whatever it is. It's a son of a bitch when you get there and realize, like, it's not just sunshine and rainbows and now you just got a new set of problems that you're maybe not equipped to deal with.
I think a lot of times we forget too that, like, those goals, whether you remember to set them or not, kind of change on their own along the way. Naturally. And if you're not anyone that manages software engineers, you talk about like handoff statements or technical debt. You know, when you finish something, you got to document it. So when you restart on it, you know where the starting point, or a job site. You got a job site that's a week long, right? You got to document the end of the day and go through it.
Yep.
But in our careers, a lot of times, I don't think we remember to do that. When you're working 50, 60, 70 hours a week, and you with kids know you blink, that shit goes by kind of quick.
Oh yeah.
And you're just kind of looking at like how much, at least me, I've looked at like how much documentation along the way was I like, hey, this kind of happened, or hey, this kind of, you know, you go. But I think it's so easy to get caught in the cliches with this stuff, Dan. It's just like, it was funny to me. I saw my boy Rob Anderson on the list of the invite thing tonight. You guys got that rolling list of this thing. I was like, man,
he's the honorable co-host. He might jump in. You never know when you're going to get a Rob. You might get a Rob.
So I've known Rob like 16 years. Like, we met right away, like right around the time we were both starting. And I was talking to Brent about this the other night too, just like that group. My boy, everyone knows Chris Lamborghini's from WCRA. Oh, yeah. Chris was out here with Kate and their kids in Puerto Rico last week with us. Okay. And it's just like, I look back and I think about those years and I was just like, what the hell was I actually doing? like I know I was working. I was working a lot.
Yeah.
But when I would get off these 70-hour weeks, I remember the smell of those gutters, that window cleaning bucket, and I was
smell
just
like some bleach, smell like just dinosaur dick, I think is what one of my employees called the smell of the gutter. That was his came back smelling like dinosaur dick.
I've smelled some prehistoric penises, I guess, in a gutter before.
Yeah. It's got to be what it smelled like.
It's HR related. It's just like, I think about, you know, I see. It's one of the best things about the home service industry is like, it's like babies. It's born every day, you know, like lower barrier to entry, a ton to get started. Yeah, there are industries where there's a little bit more like technical advancement or equipment you got to buy or whatever like that. But
yep.
I was reading a stat the other day. I think it's like 30 million businesses in the United States, and like a fourth of them are home service companies in some way, shape, or form through the 70 verticals or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, it's cool because we came in at a time when like Facebook was just getting big, or like online was coming off like the forums. There were some new ways to do things. And I was watching the video you did with Trevor and JC and Angela the other day with you guys. You're talking about the AI stuff that you're building every day. And I just think about, man, like who these kids nowadays, dude, like what you have access to and this shit coming in. And I see and I think about like, what would it be like? My oldest daughter's 13. She'll be 25 in 12 years. I'm like, if I was 25 and I was starting a business, like what would I be up to right now? Or what would I be trying to do? And it's just like, I won't say it makes me feel old, but I find myself like reflecting on that.
Big time. Big time.
Like the mentality of the journey. It's cool because I think nowadays getting into business, I'm not going to say it's easier, but I think getting in front of people is easier. I think like getting your message out there is easier. Getting a little more targeted is easier. Is it still big? Like there's like new YouTube channels all the time, and like the power washers and the like everyone's coming out and doing content and stuff.
It's just moved to a different place, right? It's like it's a constant evolution. My buddy Scott Ziegler just got into like AI vending. He's like, oh damn, this is the same. Like I'm at a convention. There's the couple of dudes that are the personalities and like a couple gurus, and you got to know this guy, and that guy's just kind of full of shit. He's like, this is the same. I'm just at a pressure washing convention where we talk about AI vending machines. I was like, yeah, I'd imagine every little business like ours has got the same type of industry.
What is an AI vending machine?
So it's basically just like shelves, not feeders, but just like you stock it, and when somebody opens it, like they swipe their credit card in advance, grab what they want, and it just scans it on the way out. So like anything you grab, it scans and charges. So yeah, so like as you're filling it, you're just marking everything with whatever the price is. So you can kind of put whatever the hell you want in it in that sense, right? Like sandwiches, drinks, candy bars, whatever. And then the AI like tells you the age of your inventory, like how long it's been in there, how long it's good for, what's moving, what moves in different times a year. So it's kind of slick.
Fascinating.
Why wouldn't vending machines do that?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't how long has that sandwich been in there? That's what I want to know. How long has that egg salad?
You might build some immunity with that sandwich.
That's right. It's got if it ain't moldy, those preservatives in there got to keep you alive way longer.
Probiotics, right?
That thing's still working. Damn it, Joe Devino's here saying some Vikings bullshit now. Jeez,
we're talking about the T-Wolves still, Joe. I don't want to hear about the Vikings.
Dude, that T-Wolves post, I didn't like. I saw your post. That was the first I had seen about that. I hadn't heard about that. That was some freaking wild ass comeback.
Unreal. Probably one of the better basketball games that I've watched in my life. That was crazy.
It's bonkers. I missed. You in touch with the March Madness thing going on?
I keep a pulse on it. It's a lot to keep up with.
It is. I was bummed. I was like at my kids' practice. They do like the American Ninja Warrior stuff, and so I'm sitting there, but I have like my phone and I'm just watching the game feed. And I had UConn not UConn, whoever they were playing. There was another team. They were playing Duke, and I had Duke like winning the whole thing, and Duke had it. They had the damn thing. And then all of a sudden they didn't. And I'm just looking at my phone. And I'm just like, what happened? Like I see the play-by-play and I'm like, what kind of sequence of, as a Packer fan, I'm used to such a sequence of events.
Pretty like, right. Midwest sports. We're just not,
Yeah, we can lose a game so many creative ways. It's awesome. It's awesome.
They figure it out.
We generally win the ones like the T-Wolves one where it's in the middle of the season and it doesn't matter that much. It's when it's in the playoffs and we find a way to lose those types of games. That's like a skill set that we have.
I think our T-Wolves should have a good run this year. I think a championship will be tough without his teams playing together. Western Conference Finals, I can see again.
I lost him. Or did I get lost?
Am I there?
Oh, there we go. Now we're back. He froze up on me for half sec.
I was saying something negative about the T-Wolves. The universe knew it and they cut it.
Yeah. There's like, Dave, you can't do that. You can't do that. This is a glass half full. This is a glass half full show. It's a glass half full show. What's Trevor got to say? Oh, we got Larry's checking in here. He says, "What's up, Dave?"
Larry, what up?
What did I miss? I saw there's somebody else in here. Oh, I missed him. Oh, Joe talking some smack. Says Lakers taking you out. Trevor says, "I'm pretty sure there's a space shuttle going to the moon right now, but I'm over here watching y'all. LOL." I don't know. Like, this seems way cooler than.
Gotta focus on what's important.
I was gonna say, what are you gonna do with that information? It's either going to get there or it's not. It's not going to change your life. This is life-changing stuff, Trevor. You know that.
Have you seen, I started, my buddy was twisting my arm to get back into those Apple shows that For All Mankind. Gotten into that?
I haven't. I suck at TV. I don't do it. I just suck at it.
I try to have a show. It's like my at night. I can kind of cut off of my Claude Code or whatever I'm doing. And that For All Mankind, I think is what it's called. It's like the premise is like the Russians landed on the moon first. They beat us. And I'm only into like episode 3, but like there's a couple seasons and it skips forward 10 years, but it's like if space advanced and we got further and pretty cool
yeah,
concept.
I like some sci-fi stuff.
Trevor, turn that on with us. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Here's my silly ass redneck thing is like usually hanging out with the fam, get the kids to bed, maybe jump on and like do a little bit more work. If we have a show, my wife and I will try to have a show together. Like we don't watch it often. I think right now we're watching Tracker, which is like a CBS series, but we're just watching on Hulu because there's no way we'd like keep up with something that's actually live and happening. Right. We got to catch up on it later. But we're probably like 3 to 4 weeks from the last time we watched an episode. So usually, like by the time I'm checking out for the day, she's already crashed. She's like early bed. I'm late. So I watch YouTube hunting and fishing stuff. Here's my strategy now.
Strap on your camo onesie and just like
you know it. But I have found, I will say, like I'm not good at everything. I'm not good at a lot of things, but I'm really fucking good at sleeping. Because, and this is a strategy, usually it's like a beer with some mixed nuts or something is kind of my jam. And then just like when you were a kiddo and your parents were reading you a story before bed, when you're watching hunting and fishing, especially when you're a redneck hobo like me, like you're there, right? Like you are in that story.
Moment.
Yes. And like as a business owner where you can't turn your brain off, it's super like, I don't want to read a book. I don't want to, like, I could read a fiction book, but I don't want to read a business book. Then my brain's going. Then I'm solving problems. Like I'm trying to stop solving problems for a minute so I can go to bed. And so like watching outdoorsy stuff where like you are there, you can put yourself there, dude. I'm out.
I had a moment today. So I've gotten, we started coming down to Puerto Rico a lot in the past like 18 months. And we got a short-term lease and then a longer-term one last year. And I'd never really been a big golfer. Like maybe golf like 2 times in the past 7 years, and never in my life had gotten into any level of like a water sport. Like that swimming in a lake was as far as my water sports activities.
By swimming, do you mean trying not to drown?
Basically. Like and actually, all joking aside, I was like a really, really, really good swimmer till like 9th grade. And then I gave it up. I was like,
really?
They're like Speedos and leg shave. I was never a super hairy guy, but like Speedos, leg shave. And I'm like,
you're like, I'm out.
Where girls at, dude? I remember my buddy Carl Johnson, we went to St. Thomas Academy. They gave us these like bike shorts and they had red and white stars on them. Carl's had a white patch right on his crotch.
Naturally.
He squatted down and it just ripped in the middle. And I was like, dude, I can't do this.
Yeah, I'm out.
But I was having so I've gotten into about 2-3 months ago, bought a set of used golf clubs, just go to the driving range a little bit, trying to get into it. And I was supposed to have my first golf lesson today. And I set it up and the guy didn't end up showing up. The instructor, he ended up being off. So we're doing it tomorrow. And I remember I was kind of inconvenienced by it. Just like, I kept having to like look for him and I wasn't really concentrating. And like, I'm in the middle of like a big project right now. And we just kind of switched up some of our org charts. I'm a little deep, like working in the business right now, as opposed to on the business. And I remember I was today, it was just happening today. I'm at the driving range. And
it's good that you remember it. If it just happened.
Just reflecting deep here. I was like, I recognized how mentally busy I was with work shit, and it was fucking up my golf swing. And I was like, I took a step back and I was like, got to be Dan in the tree stand here for a minute and just get back to this. Like, I never knew golf helped people concentrate or take their mind off shit. I thought it was just things people didn't do to justify that they were like working or selling shit during the day or something, like going out and having a good time.
That's just what you tell your wife. Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, that's just what you tell your wife. That's like every trade show I go to. I'm like, I gotta go. I'm going to a trade show. My wife's like, no, you're going to drink beer with your friends. I'm like,
talk to me about trade shows. I love that you brought that up. So like, I built this last business of ours, like going to trade shows, being everywhere for years. I've always been a trade show guy. Shit seems dead to me. Like what I'm seeing in these larger shows, and I'm telling you, I love all my friends that run shows, have shows. I'm not talking negatively about your trade show right now. They feel different over the past like year and a half, 2 years, the larger ones. And what I see personally, what I see working is these smaller kind of micro meetup events that are a little more intimate, like the, 30, 50, 100 people versus the, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. You're a trade show guy. Am I hitting a vein at all?
I stopped going to anything that's like over 400, 500 people. Partially, worse ROI, honestly. Like they want more money and I don't, like the people there don't know me. Like the percentage of people don't know me. Yeah. And the people that know me are always my best salespeople. I don't like to sell people shit. I like to help people, but I am not like the best self promoter. I just like BSing with people and talking about their business and having a bush light with them. Right. And so I have definitely found I get and frankly, I don't even do it for an ROI reason. I just do it to support Drew Larison's in the house. This is like exhibit A. Drew, and then Holly Moore and Molly Moran did their first ever show, CleanCon. A couple hundred people in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. I didn't go because I'm like, ooh, here's a chance for me to go sell some bookkeeping. Like I will get clients out of it, but Drew's the man. Holly's the shit. Molly's as good as it gets. Like those three people, what do you guys need from me? Like, how can I support you? Right. So I've kind of taken a different approach when I think about which shows I'm going to go to. I would go to zero, I think, if I didn't know the people running them. And if it wasn't a mechanism for me to support them. I was at Light It Up Expo. Like I coach landscape lighting stuff for Ryan. I will support Ryan as long as I can.
I was bummed, man. We sponsored the show and we had the guys we were supposed to send last minute couldn't go. I was watching the whole thing online.
Oh, really? Yeah, I guess I saw your name there, but I didn't see you there. I didn't know if you were making an appearance or not. But that's kind of what I have found. And same vibe from the bigger shows is just dead's not the word, but just doesn't have the energy that I feel like it used to. The energy is in the 100-ish style, maybe up to 200 like person shows.
Yeah.
If it gets too much bigger, it just loses the personal feel. And then you do feel like you're standing at a booth selling shit. And I don't want to stand at a booth selling shit. I want to be up on stage. I want to be talking to people. I want to be presenting and teaching and all that stuff.
Right.
Big shows just don't have the allure for me anymore.
I used to get so much energy from that shit, from going to the bigger ones and being there, whether it was as a vendor, as an attendee. I mean, I remember these shows in the marketing space out in San Diego, that traffic and conversion summit. There used to be 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 people at these things. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I was thinking back on the what's the big one in the power washing space that Chris and Thad, you said the huge convention.
Huge,
dude, that show was like my life, like going to that thing. And not that it's still great show, like everything, people that run it, awesome group. But like, I look at these larger ones in a lot of the industries we're in, and it does, again, back to the reflecting in the mirror. I don't know if I'm just getting old, but like I remember like having those things on my calendar all year. And one of the things we've been talking about at Dope is like getting into more of these just like regional meetups, the smaller ones, the intimate stuff where like you're still there and you're learning, but those connections, the relationships, the conversations, the at night at the networking stuff, it just felt a little different over the years.
Yeah. Do you find, I'm just imposing this on you now. So this is what I find. So this is maybe you find the same thing. Do you feel like you're getting more introverted as you get older?
Dude, it's fascinating. Like, I feel like the extrovert part, it's not that it's forced now, but I just like, I think when I think about being an extrovert, I realize how like forced that can be sometimes, and just feeling like it's part of the job versus like, yeah, I would say I like the quiet more now than I did before. Like I just I don't. There's an author, Ryan Holiday. He gets into like stoicism and just really awesome dude. He lives down in Austin, and he talks about one of his books is it's like comfort with silence or like being comfortable with the silence. And I think, look, I love me a good hard run or training or just the pain cave stuff. I think like any level of just being quiet or meditating for me is way harder than like climbing a mountain or running a marathon or doing something. Like sitting and just like being. And it's funny, like, did I watch my oldest son is 10 and our middle boy is 5. And I just watch them when I'm trying to like talk to them, do my parenting, and they're just like crawling out of their skin, trying to like, I just look at them like, man, I get it.
You get 3 words in and they're already off doing something else. You're like, yo,
and they're naked and something's on fire. And it's just like,
how did it happen so fast? We were having a conversation and I was teaching you something.
Dude, we had like a nail polish and vitamin moment the other day where it was like all of my vitamins on our kitchen countertop here were like, these things happen in like 45 seconds. Kobe, our youngest, had taken all of my vitamins and like put them in a pile and was like fucking with them and throwing it in the pool. And then Nova had gotten a hold of our 4-year-old. He got a hold of some nail polishes, like painting a rock and Kobe. And like, this was you see these things like parents are like, how would you let this happen? I was like, this was the blink of an eye. Yeah. Like I walked into the other room, came back, and they're just like, yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. I thought 5 was a lot. My little brother's got number 6 on the way. He just Nick will be 38 this month, actually. Go to Tino Grace. They just won state last weekend for 3A boys basketball.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I don't assuming you got a lot of parents that watch the show.
I assume so.
Probably.
Yes. I'm looking at everybody that's commented. At least the parents.
A lot of parents on here.
Business owner parents.
Everyone should just go have some kids if you haven't done that yet. If it's a possibility, I think
you should be allowed to. If you would get the proper.
Dan, if people voted when we were younger, would we be in that allowed group to breed? I don't know if everyone would have nominated me.
Yeah, maybe by my mid-20s, they would have started thinking about it.
Early 30s, I might have snuck into the maybe a capable parent. But where you started the conversation, man, it's like there's not many ways to do it right. There's a lot of ways to do it wrong.
Oh yeah. No, on the kid thing, it is funny. It's like their ability to, and I'm so conscious of this, especially as an entrepreneur business owner, their ability to just be making shit up. Our 3-year-old Crosby, we're sitting at the table and he's telling us all about the hyenas that were running. He saw them the other day when we were driving to practice. Hyenas, huh, bud? And then he's like, and there's this deer in the backyard. I'm like, our backyard is like fully fenced. And he's just like, and his brain is just making this stuff up. And then we've been listening to Harry Potter. We finished all the Harry Potter books with my 9-year-old. Like she was all about it. But the 7-year-old and the 3-year-old, they're in it, right? If the 9-year-old's doing something, so are the 7 and 3-year-old. So now we're watching the movies, which is hilarious with little kids because they're like, I'm scared. What's going to happen? So now today he was telling us about Voldemort and Harry Potter were in his class, in his daycare. And like to him, it's so real. And I'm just like, I just got to resist the urge to like try to correct him, resist the urge to try to like, and my girls that right now, and I haven't done anything about this right now. My faucet, like the whole faucet in my downstairs bathroom is covered in toothpaste. It got like painted on and they're just doing science experiments all day and kind of ruining my house. And I'm like, well, I get that's why I don't have nice things. Like I know not to have nice things. My wife wants a new couch and I'm like, nuh-uh. Why would we get a nice couch? How ridiculous. It's going to be ruined.
Do you have your kids using AI at all for anything?
We're just messing around with some chat tonight.
Yeah. I got on there last weekend and I'm going to finish some stuff up coming into this weekend. So we got them all Claude accounts. We got them on there. We give them some time, let them go through. But I built this little thing that will like show them how to build a game, but we can like do it together.
Hell yeah.
You ever heard of Code Ninjas?
No.
So it's like it used to be like Club Kid when we were growing up. You can like not daycare, but it's like after school, drop your kids off, do whatever.
Yeah.
So they have one out in Plymouth, and I think there are a couple around the Twin Cities. but it's like they did a karate belt theme to this thing, but you drop your kids off there and they learn how to write code. They learn how to be an engineer. It's like in the white belt, yellow belt, JavaScript, this and that. And it was so cool to see. We tried it with our 3 oldest, and our daughter was kind of like, give me a pen and paper. Let me draw some shit. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. I'm going to do some art.
But my oldest son like really took to it. And it's cool how the skills relate, even just like with the prompting and the talking to it and the understanding it and going through.
Yeah, you got to know how to talk to it. You got to know what you're looking for.
What do you think about AI being like a finance guy? Are you all into like data rails and what's that other one? Hey, Henry and stuff like that. Like, are you deep in the AI side of using it or not so much?
I'm not. It's not my wheelhouse. Like I'm not a techie sort of dude. So I'm not an early adopter of technologies, but like super aware of it. Right. And it's totally going to change how we do our business and what our deliverables are and stuff. We actually like literally, I just got a team account for Claude for us because I like for employee review stuff and checking for errors and like managing all of our systems and processes. I'm on record multiple times on this show saying it, and I like hope it's not the case, but I believe it'll be the case. I'm just waiting for the day where QuickBooks Online is like not the thing anymore. Like it's still the thing,
dude. I think it's getting pretty close, man. Like sorry, I shouldn't say it like that. I don't mean like next week, but like the way these tools are getting and where they're going. I won't go down that AI spiel here. I try to not. I couldn't spell AI at the end of 2024. It was not my thing. But I think that there's a lot of stuff coming in the future. One tool that I think everyone should look up, especially if you use Slack, this thing called Victor with a K, Viktor. It has been transformative in some of the stuff we live on Slack. Our company, we got, still some over 100 employees. It's a lot to manage sometimes.
Yeah.
You can get this thing into channels, and it can like backdate and run analyses for anyone that runs like Fathom or Fireflies, like records their calls.
Yeah.
You can feed it all your recordings from your team and give it rules to audit the calls. And it's kind of in there doing stuff. And, we had a finance guy telling us about this. Have you heard of data rails or no?
No.
That's a big one in that space right now that I think is just when you talk about like QuickBooks might not be. Yeah. I think if anyone would have said 6 months ago, like ChatGPT is not going to be the company, I think anyone that doesn't have a Claude account right now is crazy. Like if you're not getting on Claude and just having it get to know you a little bit better than it was before.
Don't mess around with it.
Yeah. So I digress. Sorry. I don't mean to go on an AI tangent, but
no, I think like it's just, you can't avoid it. I mean, frankly, I like my long-term hypothesis is I don't think it's going to be good for humankind. I think they're like, it's going to get in the wrong hands. It's going to do some bad stuff. I think we all mean well, like hopefully we can rein it in and like figure that out. If it were up to me, I would just go live in the woods. I would just hunt and fish and like make all my own food and grow a big ass garden. But like I run a freaking bookkeeping business and I love it. And like, we'll see where that goes in the world we live in, but it's like, it doesn't matter what the hell I want it to be. The world's going to do the world. Right. And I can either choose to like ignore it and turn into a freaking dinosaur, turn into that dinosaur dick in the gutter, smelling like old wasted shit, or I can learn, I can adapt. I've done it 1,000 times before, right, throughout my life. And so there's no avoiding it. It's just trying to figure out how to use it as efficiently as possible, where to use it, when to use it, who to be the one using it, and all. Like it's just learning. It's just getting better, trying to do stuff.
One thing that fascinates me is there's not more like training platforms in specifically the home service space, but just in a lot of businesses, if you're not kind of exposing yourself to it and giving yourself permission to kind of take it to the next level past using it like a search engine or whatever, it's just always been surprising to me over the past, I don't know, I'd say 6, 8. I've just been kind of waiting for that push of like, I'm the home service AI trainer. I haven't seen it really like out there.
Yeah. We talked to some guys today that like kind of come along and help you prioritize the systems and processes, help you design the systems and processes and apply AI to it. So we're thinking of like using a third party to just help us dial in,
analyze the kind of,
yeah, just to be as efficient with like the application as possible, like to help us even define, kind of back to the goal conversation. Like, we know we want to use AI, we want to get more efficient, we want to find more like cost effective and faster ways to do things.
Sure.
Where do we start? What do we start with? How are we like feeding it the thing, and just thinking through those systems and processes? I think we can all go like plug a lot of shit into AI, but is it actually moving our business forward, or are we just wasting time on building stuff that doesn't change who we're helping and how we're helping them?
You're just spending valuable time on kind of spinning the wheels. I think what one really cool thing is like being able to get in there and talk to it and literally ask it those questions and get some advice. Just like, hey, I'm doing this. This is what I'm up to. This is how long I've been in business. This is some problems. Like, this is what I'm good at. This is what I like doing. This is what I suck at. This is what I don't like doing. And just kind of like getting in there and having the thing know you a little bit. I spend a decent amount of time just therapy with it, of advice, of going back and forth in the exchanges. And again, just one of those things, like you would have told me years ago that this is where we'd be, talking to our phones, getting therapy from a robot. I might not have believed you.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's wild. One thing I get asked a lot, and it always just reminds me, like, bookkeeping touches everything and finance touches everything.
Yeah.
Probably the number one thing I advise our clients on is marketing and recruiting. And I tell them all the time, like, you can have the nicest trucks, you can have the nicest equipment, you can be the best pressure washer, the best HVAC tech, you can like knock yourselves out. There's two things that grow a business: marketing and recruiting. If you don't do those well, and if you only do one of them well, you still kind of suck. Like, you can't grow a business with just one of them. And so I really get into like people's marketing data and like how to measure it and what we're looking for. And the thing I always come back to, because like Google's changing, right? And Google's getting more expensive and this isn't working. When do we do this? And I'm like, man, yeah, there's all this crazy technology, and how do you get ChatGPT, and they're going to search there and they're going to search there. And every time I'm just like, just put some fucking yard signs. Like, some things never change. Go knock on a door, go put a letter on somebody's door. You can chase around all the digital stuff you want, but until people are sliding down their own chimney or can like snap their fingers and warp into their house, like until we can teleport, a yard sign's still going to be really, really useful in scaling your business. And like knocking on somebody's door or putting a letter on their door is still going to be really, really useful in helping you scale your business. Like, go ahead and do all the digital boots on the ground footprint stuff. But if you want to go get people, go get in front of them. Like, that'll always work. It always works.
It's the simple stuff that I think people need to realize. Just, it's not always like, what's the next thing? It's like, how do I look at what's working and do a little bit more of that? And I think that some of the more traditional ways, I had a dear friend of mine tell me years ago, like, dude, one of the way I asked him, I was like, man, how did you get successful? I got a ton of dough, sold a business, whatever. He's like, dude, I never stopped hiring. I always was hiring. I always had hiring ads up, Indeed, using my HR software, like whatever it was, a recruiting company. It was like, just because you're hiring doesn't mean that like it's going to get more expensive to run your business. It means you always got a bench or a roster. Look at our T-Wolves. One of the reasons that we can still do well is because our bench is 9 guys deep of people that could like play on a high level. And
they're all still pro basketball players.
Yeah. And you like, life happens. You never know what's going to happen, but one guarantee is life is going to happen. And so when you think about like, how much does your business depend on one person or one seat or one role, or how involved are you in these different processes? And I think that, it's one thing to always be priming the pump with marketing and sales, right? What did Mark Cuban say? Sales solves everything. You can't sell anything if you're not marketing yourself in some way, shape, or form. But I think what people downplay a lot more, Dan, than marketing is hiring, because marketing doesn't change a lot. But I'll speak as a business owner with couple companies, couple employees. Hiring for us, especially at Dope, takes the most time from the highest level people that we have out of anything else that we do. And it's like, when you look at, what's the cliche? What's your most valuable currency? When we are hiring aggressively, which we do this time of year and usually at the end of the summer, is like, I just had to take a step back and look at it. our most valuable, highest paid people are more occupied with that process than anything else during the week when we are in a hiring sprint.
And if you look at any home service business, the most valuable part of your business, if you just dollarized it, is every single employee. They're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Your best customer is not worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Your employee is. And it's so funny how people just like skip over it. And again, like complain that nobody wants to work and they don't invest in it. And it's like, that is the most, your business is truly, and I say this all the time on the show, your business is truly only as good as your worst employee. Somebody is getting the results of your worst employee every single day. Like when you think about that, it's like, oh damn, I
think it's important. It's super important. Like a lot of times we want to believe that we can like duplicate ourselves or our effort. I think it's important to realize, like, if you find someone that can do 30 or 40% the job that you can, like, you found a really good person, like, you know, no one's going to care as much. No one gets the end result as much, whether it's just the profit or you're going to go sell the thing or the freedom or the time. Like, they still have a job. And I think, especially like for me early in my career, I used to get stuck on the fact, no one cares. They're not going to work as hard as I'm. Like, they're not. They have a job.
You're right. Yeah.
And I think it's. So I was reading a fascinating stat the other day. Out of the 30 million businesses in the United States, guess what percentage of them are single owner operated?
Oh, Jesus. 75?
80. It's like 81 or 82, something like that.
That's
and
wild.
not, like, take into account, right? You got helpers, you got spouses, like it's not logged, right? But that's like for the tax ID.
You got your cash employees.
Yeah, right. But like, so let's take 15% out. Let's say it's 65, 70%, whatever it is. I think a lot of times, man, it's a little harder to like get out of your own way, because then you got to give up control and be comfortable with things going wrong. And I think back to, if we bring this full circle, you know, where's the aha moment or the light bulb moment of any entrepreneur that's like, yeah, I can get this thing this far, but I'm going to look at some other stuff now because I understand this. I think one of the things for me when I realized like, it was we could only build lion's share so big because you can only afford to pay so much out over the winter, going through other things without having to get into other services and do other stuff. And it was never that. There's another stat. Sorry, I'm a data guy. Guess what percentage of the country makes over $300,000 a year?
2.
Fucking numbers guy, you guys. 2%. 2% of the country makes more than 300K. And I think that you got to really, when you go to those whys or you put yourself in these buckets, it's just like, dude, making $300,000 a year is a lot of money if you've never done that. I think a lot of people that don't realize you're actually only making $80K a year. Like, yeah, you might get to pay for your DoorDash and your stuff and your whatever, but like take them, Dad. How many books have you been in where, whether it's your $500,000, $750,000, $1 million, $2 million, where the actual end result just like isn't really what my quick story. My little brother just sold his company to Jason Kidd's private equity company last summer, 6-8 months ago. Sold it for like 40 mil, him and his business partner. And I asked him, I was like, how'd you make that decision? I mean, the guys make good money, pay themselves well. They got like cash coming in. They got residual income. Like, it's a really good, solid business.
Yeah.
And he was like, we did the math on, if we made the money we made for the next 10 years, would it be this much? And it wasn't. It made great lives, made great money, went through it all. But like, it's hard. You see the private equity floating around in the home service space, and there's all these stories of these huge exits and stuff. And it's just fascinating to see like what goes into that, or
different world.
Yeah, horror stories.
It's wild. It's wild. We got Scotty says Dope sent him a couple 1,000-yard signs last year.
Let's go, Scotty. Let's go. I appreciate the business, man.
Barry doesn't even know who the heck is Dope Marketing. Forget about him, he says.
Barry, what up, man?
What do you see in the next couple of years, specifically on the marketing side? Like you're watching the technology, you've got Dope, you're obviously like in tune with the marketing space. Yeah. What's the lay of the land? I feel like for the last decade, it's been Google, but again, like I see and hear Google not working as well, and people trying to pivot, but don't really know what to pivot to. What the hell are you seeing?
Yeah. So I apologize to all my agency owner friends that are watching this, but I think the days are numbered. I think in what it took, some of my friends have sold agencies for 8 figures, mid high 8 figures, and I think they got out at the right time. I think that there is messaging coming. My little 2 pennies here. If we remember April Fools on 2026, I'll put my stamp on it.
Stamp it.
I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of messaging coming out in Q3, Q4 this year, Q1 of next year of how you're going to see agencies pivoting. And I'll get to the reason of why I think that is. But I think that being able to automate targeting, media buying, just the stuff you used to need to have like a room full of people with big brains to do, to get in the weeds, back into Meta, back into Google, back into these media buying platforms.
Yep.
That shit is getting really automated. And it's cool because these agencies will be able to scale more. They'll be able to help more people and need less employees to do it. Because like one thing that AI is going to do for a lot of businesses is you'll be able to pick out your really good employees and enable them to do more with technology. These employees that are AI curious, they're figuring this shit out. They're bringing you stuff with Chat GPT and Cloud. Like pay attention to these, regardless of their age. The people that are bringing you ideas or suggestions, don't be like, oh, it's AI, don't whatever. Pay attention to those people because they're seeing this stuff.
Yeah.
I think what's going to happen is if you have clean data in your CRM, if you got your residential and your commercial jobs separated, you don't have 3 or 4 records where you got the husband, the wife, and the dog, and it's separate with 4 different things. If you got
then you got a service type for that you did it on a weekend, and then you got the service type for that time you skipped a window.
I did all like, and it was 20 windows and 22 windows and the whole clean CRM data to me is going to be the key. Cause what you're going to be able to do is you see these companies like Service Titan's doing this really well right now. House Call Pro is on this really well right now. They're analyzing your data for you and showing you the homes. We're doing this at Dope. There's other companies doing this, but it's like taking the facts. So I've been saying this a lot lately. In business, there's your facts, right? You got your CRM, your QuickBooks, your spreadsheet, the services you offer, what you charge for them, how much you make. Like these are facts. You can't get away from these. As business owners, we have a lot of feelings. We're emotional individuals. And so if I showed my P&L over the past 4 years to Dan, he's like, I'm like, hold on. I can tell you why. Let me explain. I think when you understand that like the facts in your business and how clean they are, that's what's going to enable business owners, marketing companies to kind of get a little bit more targeted, to know you did 100 jobs. Here's the profile of that job. Here's 100 more people just like them. Let's not spend 20 grand this month advertising. Let's spend $6,000 banging on these people. I think because that's going to happen, the agency world is going to change a little bit. These younger agency employees are going to get a bug. They're going to go start their own, like any business, right? You said just like your AI vending machines, a power washing convention, all this shit is relative. And what's going to happen is these agencies are going to figure out how to automate this stuff more. But I think the messaging that's going to come from that is anyone that sees this stuff with, I'll talk specifically about like the Claude code and that stuff, right? Like those platforms be able to generate apps. I think what's going to happen, this messaging in Q3 of this year, Q4 of this year, going into Q1 of 27 is stop paying for SaaS, but let us, like these agencies are going to turn into these businesses that they'll build the tools for. You don't need review management software. You don't need a follow-up tool. You don't need whatever it is. And I think that I think marketing companies are going to be the first to see it because they're very agile. These platforms change. You got to learn the new Google algorithm, the Facebook thing. I think a lot of these smart agencies are keeping up on this shit right now. And I think this SaaS. I mean, what business owner loves paying a subscription anyways? It's not no one. But it's like, I think what's going to happen is the world is going to get to a place where it's just easier to generate these tools without being a technical expert. And I think because of that, the agency world is going to go in a bit of a direction of like fulfilling that need for a while. Cause I think it's hard for a business owner to learn. It's hard enough to run a business, let alone to learn how to build a tool.
I'm running into that right now. Is like, we have a wait list of clients, and I'm like always recruiting. I have a wait list of employees, a wait list of clients, like trying to bring them together. Last week, I think I had 15 demos, and it's just like, we're just in it. I'm like, man, I really want to get into Claude and mess around, but I'm still like, we're just in the middle of the busy season. I'm like, I need to carve out time to build shit and just like query.
And what we've never seen before, Dan, is like, again, I'll be dramatic. This tool that we're using now, all the AI tooling, this is the fire, the wheel, electricity, the phone, the internet, the computer, the car, all rolled into one times 1,000 for like what it can do. And I just think it's important as a business owner. What I did, little pro tip here. So I'm not a Twitter guy, never really been on a, like Twitter was never my thing. But what I did, what I am is a doom scroller. I will get into Facebook and Instagram still and spend an hour and a half of my valuable time fucking around. What I did was I opened up my Twitter account that I probably haven't logged into in 8 years. And my buddy, engineer buddy of mine out in Silicon Valley was like, this is a really good exercise. Go on Twitter, especially if you're not active on there, and just go follow like Claude and ChatGPT and some of those pages. When you find yourself doom scrolling, just I did it on my phone. I just put a little folder where I got like Twitter's in there again in my socials when I never used it before. And I'll just go to Twitter and I'll read for a half an hour. Just, what are these fuckers up to, learning about this stuff, and just kind of exposing myself to it, just reading a little. Because then if I find myself before I go into my deer stand mentally at night, I hop into Twitter and scroll a little bit.
There you go. At least you're doom scrolling some stuff that's like thought provoking and not making you angry like somebody's political bullshit opinion.
Where's the purple party? I think we all want a little of that.
Scotty chimed in. Sean, I think, is a gal that used to work for him. Always said, with no facts, you're just a chick with an opinion. Had to be a chick, definitely a chick.
I've seen it different. I've seen without data, you're just another asshole with an opinion.
That's right up there. Saying the same. So what's next for you? Like, what is it? Back to the goals. Are there targets for dope that you're like laser focused on? We're trying to impact this or move here or do these things. Obviously, like you said, with Lion Share, you're trying to set it up so your wife and brother-in-law can run it. What are you like excited about building?
So for anyone that's ever like taken a vacation, island time is not something that comes very natural to me. I like to move a little faster.
Yeah.
And getting down here to Puerto Rico and just spending some time and slowing down a little bit. Man, I got 13, 10, 5, 4, and 3 for my kids.
You're plenty busy. Slowing down isn't really like a realistic option.
It's the balance of the pace, though. Where I'm going is like I've been working really hard for the past 16 years, really, really hard. And one of the things I learned from Lion Share and some of the other stuff I did with dope was like, I'm not, no matter how small this thing stays or how big it gets or whatever it is, I just knew I wasn't building a business that I had to be there 5 days a week or been involved in like day to day. Cause I'm not good at that. I'm not a great manager. I'm not a great bean counter. I'm really good at like growth, startup, strategy, visionary to a fault stuff. And as I come to terms with that, Dan, what I've allowed myself to do is just hire really good people, get out of the way a little bit, stick to what I'm good at. I've gotten over the past year, I'm not super vocal about it, but I've gotten into some business consulting, working with a couple different companies. I got my own little AI project that I'm tweaking on, but really, man, just turning 40, I'm trying to give myself permission to be in the calm a little bit more. So there's some really huge nerd here. There's some really cool changes coming with the post office next year that I'm excited about.
Said like a true marketer.
I got a little project where the post office is like changing how they do things. It's going to work more like FedEx and DHL with like zones and shit like that. So I got some really cool people that are getting close to retirement at USPS and Pitney Bowes that we're working with on just a cool project. I think we can kind of change the way that direct mail works on a national level. That's exciting for me. It's something that'll like go far. Really trying to get my kids into some AI stuff and just kind of like experience it with them and go through it. You know, what I learned was like there's ways to make a lot of money, and there's a lot of ways to make money, like a lot of ways. And if I've seen anything, I've whether it's the home service people that I've seen exit their business, or I've been very fortunate over the past couple of years through some of the mastermind groups that I've been a part of or whatever, to just get around some people that I really consider successful. And what I've learned from them, Dan, is just like there's an amount of money that you can make, and then after that, it's just kind of like not that that's not the goal, right? We all want to be like financially stable and get there, but for me, I really enjoy new businesses. I really like seeing things grow, and so I really see myself still being a part of Dope. We're not selling it. We're not going, anywhere. Like everyone says, like they got their number, but if I've learned anything about these people that I saw successful, that like they exited their business, a lot of them are just really bored and like looking for the next thing to get that dopamine hit. And so I'm really trying to be conscious of just like this moment that we're in right now, dude. I got my blood work back the other day, and I got terrible news. I got the fucking blood work of a 28-year-old. I'm trying to look at, I do this fast forward thing of my kids, and when my youngest is 30, how old will I be and what will I be able to do with them? And just really, really, man, the cliche stuff, just being disciplined about like looking at some longevity stuff, looking at my health, trying to balance the work-life stuff. Because for years I wasn't good at that, but I think just really being intentional, like time, family, stuff you hear about.
I have a, and this kind of goes to JC's post that he made about like why are we celebrating the burnout? I do think there is a trait of entrepreneurs, and it is like a gray area we get trapped in, and we overdo it and we don't realize we're overdoing it. I did it in my last business at Blue Skies, like way overdid it. But I like fucking working hard. Like give me a chainsaw, I'm gonna go cut some wood, right? Like give me something to build, I'm gonna build the hell out of it. Can I hire somebody to mow my lawn? Yep. I prefer to do it. I like going outside and like, I mean, that's actually kind of like a nice mind clear. Just like I don't really go to a gym. I have weights in my basement. Now that it's warm enough out, like I've run outside the last 3 days. Might take the next few days off. Not sure I want to go running, whatever the slushy rain thing is. But like we crave hard things. And so sometimes like we just get ourselves into a weird spot of burnout because we're just running towards, I like to do hard stuff. I want to do hard stuff. I despise lazy people. And so I'm going to do whatever it takes to not be a lazy person. And we overdo it. And we like leave our family behind. Sometimes we leave our friends behind sometimes. Cause we're like, no, I got to prove something to somebody, to this dude in the mirror
I've never met before.
Yeah. And so it is such a reckoning of like, we don't want to be a hypocrite, right? We strive our entire lives to not be a hypocrite, and we kind of despise laziness. And so it's like, how do you sit with, like, I go hunting a lot, right? And I go fishing a lot, and it is time outside idle, but I'm also kind of doing something. Like, does that count? Like, I'm not really being lazy because I'm like hauling stuff and I'm climbing a tree and I'm putting food on the table and I'm dragging a deer out if I am lucky. And so like, I'm always trying to think of that, where like when I slow down, how do I do it where I'm still doing something and it's productive? Like I enjoy gardening. I don't just kill animals. I kill vegetables too. I'll kill all the motherfuckers. They're delicious, right? The only bummer is like, I forget who the comedian is, but like if a cabbage ran away from me, I'd be out there with my bow, snapping some arrows at it. I shot a rabbit off the deck today. It's in the freezer. That baby is in the freezer.
Artie Bucco.
Dude, those rabbits, they're going to get in my garden, man. It's preventative maintenance. Like, I know what they're up to. I know what they're all about. Last year, they crushed my peas. Then they went for the green beans. So like, I don't know how to sit idle unless I like create an activity that gives me that idle time. Hopefully, like my wife's coming turkey hunting this year. She bought her first turkey tag. Like my kids come out and like do the hunting thing with me. And so it's like trying to figure out how, and maybe this is just like an entrepreneur thing, is like, I want to do it all together, right? I want to like work hard, play hard, do the family stuff, do the faith stuff. Like, how can I wrap it all into one so that it's like symbiotic? And so I don't view it as like a work-life balance. It's not a trade-off to me. It's like, can I roll it all into one? Just like when my kids come in here and I'm on meetings, I don't care if I'm on a meeting with a client. Like, hey, Danny, this is so-and-so. Like, whatever. Like I bring my kids right in. And so it's like, I don't want to be working as hard as I can all the time, because that's burnout. But we do have the luxury of like, we've designed our businesses where we can kind of work whenever, wherever. And that can be dangerous, but it can also be the perfect antidote to our ADD, can't stop doing something all the time. Like we have the luxury of trading off and switching.
One thing I wish I would have done sooner in my career in Lion's Share was do like offsites. Like it's one thing to have like team meetings if you're running under EOS or doing something like that. Yeah. As I got deeper into other companies, I found that like getting away from it, like physically, like even if it's just driving up an hour away to a cabin or renting an Airbnb or doing something like that, whether it's your leadership team or your managers, physically getting away from it and meeting about something not in the office is something that I can say I wish I would have implemented sooner, because we've seen a lot of success from that in all of our companies now.
Yeah. I noticed that Skip, who's my GM for bookkeeping, has just been cranking out. But he's also like, he like bowed out of a meeting last week where he was just like mentally not in the right spot to like be in one of our calls. And I was like, you got to take a week off, man. Yeah. Like, I know you work ridiculous, and like he wears the work hard as a badge. Yep. And he always does, and that's how he's wired. And he's been a business owner before. Like, there's a reason why he and I work well together, is because it's not work to us, right? Like, but we redline it a lot because we like it, and we're driven, and we're just in it. But I have the outlet of the outdoorsy stuff. Like, I take a ton of trips, and very intentionally to excuse myself, check out, clear my head, think differently, think bigger. And he needs to do it. He hasn't done it yet. But man, it's such a necessity when you're growing a business that you, like you said, you physically have to change where you're at. Got to get out of it to get back into it. Here's a question. This is a selfish question I got for you. How long have you and your wife been like working on it? Has she always been a part of it with you? And then
since day one, like we're one of those couples. You don't come across them often, but just we complement each other very, very well in the workplace. And it's not for everyone. I don't think it's for 7 out of 10 couples. It's all we really knew when we started Lion's Share. Like neither of us had ever done anything like that before, and we did it together, and that just kind of rolled over. I would caution anyone that one, I think it's a superpower. If you can find and work with your spouse, I think that's a superpower to have someone that cares as much as you do, that the business supports the home life, like all that. But I've also seen people try to force it, and it like fucks stuff up. I think I would just, when I say like be cautionary or tread lightly, it's not to say that whoever's watching or listening to this can't do it. I've seen more failures of it where like you're kind of doing something and then you try to bring your spouse in, and then like it doesn't really work that well. I think it's important, go back to that mirror. I think it's important to understand your relationship, because there's a lot of work that goes into it after the fact. Like you got to be straight. I saw like Larry was on here. I know like Josh Latimer talks about this a lot, is like that just the date nights, the intentional time, the different stuff. When we have all of our, like, life is a little bit different when we're down here in PR than when we're up in Minneapolis. And I just am super intentional about like grabbing one of the kids and going to do something, or taking a walk with Barin, or doing the stuff. And I think that a lot of us that work with our spouses successfully probably make it look a lot easier than it really is. But I just, the advice that I would give to anyone, even just considering it, just the whatever, we got really big into those, the Clifton Strengths through Gallup, but like the DISC analysis, the Myers-Briggs, like that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You just gotta, there's data. There he is. There he is. Rob, what
OG hashtag don't suck at Facebook.
Oh my God. Getting old, Rob. I was talking about it earlier, man. We are getting
I still have that shirt, man. It's a very comfy shirt. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to impress anybody with my Zuckerberg knowledge.
I was trying to very hard. Yeah, but Dad, landing the plane on that, man. I think it is a superpower if you can make it work. I think that being very conscious of where the strengths are, but then also like, where's your relationship at? Where's your communication at? Because I definitely have seen it work worse for people than I think I've seen it work better.
Yeah, same. Like, it's an attractive idea. My wife is still in the corporate world. My wife has the big job. She's a breadwinner. Like, and it would be fun, especially with 3 kids that are like getting more into sports. And I mean, we, like you said earlier, Dave, like you can tell we're getting old because we say the thing like, oh man, it goes so fast. Like, it does. And our Danny is 9. And I feel like she was just a baby, right? But she's like halfway out of the house. Like, our first half of the time we have with her is done. And the second half, we're going to see her less and less and less and less as she does more stuff and has friends and gets a driver's license and all that. So we're like, man, we have to be so intentional about like spending the time with our kids. Our kids are a blast. They're awesome. We have so much fun together, and it does go really fast, and we both work our asses off, but we both, I joke, like we have a really strong marriage, but I joke our kids probably think we're divorced, because it's like, well, it's my week with dad, it's my week with mom. We live in the same house, but between, like, we trade off travel a lot of times because she's traveling, and then she schedules travel around my travel. And like, we do a great job. We're getting better at the communication. You know, we're 10 years into this thing. We're pretty solid at the communication now, but it does fly so fast when you're just executing and transacting. And so we've debated, like, is there a world where it makes sense for her to join the business? Obviously, like, financially, it's a lot to give up. Can be a superpower, can escalate the business to a whole nother level, and can buy some more freedom, especially for her, so she's not on somebody else's schedule. But it is risky because, like, sure, we get along really well, like we're best friends, but would we still be, or would we be sleeping in different bedrooms, right? Like, I don't know.
Where would I sleep, Dan, at these events? I mean, if she joins the business, I got to get a hotel room.
So then if she joins the business and we're sleeping in different beds, then you can just sleep in my bed. You just come and crash next to me, Rob. It's cool. I'm frugal, man.
When we were all at Sales Boost years ago, Dan and I are rooming together, and he's doing like good fit calls and like group interviews with his people, and like, and they're, hey y'all, you know, I'm one of the clients, and this is my buddy, and you should figure out a way to work for him. And you know, like, they're like 1 or 2 of those people, like, and I was like, I'm gonna get rid of that box, get rid of that box. I think that one, those other 2 seem okay. You know, like, that was how that all went down. And just as far as the kids and getting older, man, like, Dave, your oldest is driving now, right?
13. Driving a golf cart.
Driving a golf cart. Okay, that's a whole different thing. My daughters are 21 and 19, and both of them got summer jobs at summer camps this year. They've done like the whole Working at Young Life camp. That's when I stopped by to see your shop, and I hung out with Dan, and his kids got me beers while we were at soccer practice and whatnot. But like, Ellie's going to go work at a special needs camp for the summer, and Brooke's going to work at some other camp doing like outdoorsy stuff.
They're like their own people now.
For real.
Dude, it's crazy. And just to realize, like, it was 2 interviews and the whole summer changed. And I'm like so excited for them. Like, my oldest, she's going to be a nurse. And so like, she did the study abroad. She did, worked at camps for a couple summers. And she's like, listen, you're going to have a medical degree where you can go do nursing anywhere you want. And when she puts on there that she did travel abroad, that's going to be like the first and only question they ask her. Like, oh, so you have a personality. You didn't just, study every single day. Like, she's going to make plenty of money, and it's going to be those experiences that she gets to have. And like, it's kind of funny because like, we're all close in age, and I'm like, I've got a 21-year-old. Like, Dave, your kids are so young. Dan, your kids are so young. But man, like, I was talking to somebody today. I was like, man, in 10 years, I'll be a grandfather. Like, the question is how many grandkids will I have?
Grandpa Rob.
Like, dude, it's crazy. And I can be fun Uncle Rob too for your kids, and they'll still be awesome and all that. And
Uncle Grandpa Rob or Grandpa Uncle Rob. I don't know how that goes. You'll have to decide.
Yeah.
Decide what you want them to call you.
Oh, and at some point, Dave, when I come up there, I do have to meet your kids because I'd be playing around with all of them as well. Like, kids are the best, man. I'm glad y'all have a boatload of them.
I was trying to count grandkids the other day. I was like, all right, if all of you have an average of 3 kids, I'll have 15 grandkids. Fuck around, and some of them have 5. We might be in the 20s.
Yeah.
Figure out a piece of land, trailers.
Yeah, you're gonna need a commune. Yep. You're gonna need a compound. Right. We had my great grandma on my mom's side had over 100 great grandchildren while she was alive.
Unreal.
And she like knew all their names. I don't know how she knew my name. Like I was one of 100, but every time I saw her, she's like, "Wait, Danner." I was like, "How the hell?"
You're a 3-letter word.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, Chris, my older brother, 5 letters. That was a tough one. That one, like, I got out of bounds. Dave, Jeremy says it's past your bedtime. You gotta get to bed.
Jeremy knows. Jeremy knows better than anyone. Burning the midnight oil with you guys.
Now you got that coffee energy, so you're gonna be like up for another hour, and then
I wish if I've broken my rule too much lately. I try to not do caffeine after noon, and that has not been the case this week and last week. So it's the opposite.
Yeah, we appreciate you hanging. We appreciate you hanging in. What did we not? I feel like we covered a lot of ground. Anything we didn't talk about that you feel like we need to? We got Rob here now, so. Rob hit.
I mean, we could go like another 3 hours. That's just the way this goes.
We probably give Dave some time.
There was that one time in St. Louis where I took like the most awkward photo of the 3 of us.
I remember that picture.
With the bowling alley.
Yeah.
Bowling alley picture. Yeah.
I remember that St. Louis trip. I think I deemed St. Louis the armpit of America after that trip. We were out in the thick of it.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that was when Rob and I rode the same scooter to that bowling alley. double
the friggin' Dumb and Dumber episode on scooters.
Was that when we drove those scooters like 6 miles? Was that show?
I believe so. To like a White Castle or something. I'm
so far. We're like, oh, it's not that far. We all rented those scooters. We're on there like 2 hours of scooting to this place that was like closing in 10 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, I think we ate outside on the curb.
On the curb.
I had to literally like ask some guy with a car who was passed out in the drive-thru, like, hey man, can I just give you like $40? And then like we just need like some burgers and food. And my sales guy's like just driving around. Then he went down to the St. Louis Arch and he's like, by the way, it's like downtown Nashville. Like the scooter doesn't tell you it's dead and off because gravity's still winning, but you can't use a scooter like within like a half mile, but it's like 2 miles downhill, so you're like just done for at the bottom of it. And they're like, we want food and drinks. They're like, none of our sodas work. Okay, can you give me water?
$50, and how much trunk space do you have? We have 13 scooters.
Yeah.
Should have brought helmets to those damn places. Those things are dangerous.
Or gloves. I remember I think honestly, Dave, I was talking with you and I'm like, looked down at my hand and I was like, why is my hand bloody? And then I'm like, oh yeah. That's what I almost like
scooter grip for 47 minutes going downhill.
Well, dude, I almost like either put my head or something through like a side window of a car on one of those scooters. And I didn't, newsflash, but my hand totally hit the pavement at some point. And then I was like, oh, that's bloody.
Yeah.
Well, I think I need another beer.
Yeah. Ease the pain a little bit. So what, Dave, what else? Anything else? What did we miss?
I think
you're coming back up, and you're coming back up in 10 days. You're going to bring some warm weather for us.
Back up in 10 days. I'm bringing the sunshine. We got a tour. We are looking at we got a big acquisition thing happening with this national print company. I might buy an apparel company.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it
dope?
fits really well. Yeah, I think you know what happened? We're in the top 5 of the largest national yard sign distributors in the country. Like if you would have told me that crazy talk.
Yeah.
But as we kind of like as we look at some of these other things at both, I got a bunch of travel coming up in April. We're looking at some print shops down in Houston. I'm going to Jackson, Mississippi this month. Be out in Denver, and then back home for these playoffs for my Wolves.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
What,
We're doing travel with the team this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me and David last year we went to OKC. Just some of the nicest people are like, they're too nice to have such a good team.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You kind of wish they were more cocky assholes.
We were down there. We're at the hotel with the Timberwolves, and we're sitting in the section. It's all OKC, and they're so nice. And this lady brought David this thing the next night. We're just like, aren't you guys supposed to be assholes? Like, you're champions, and they're such a young team, and they're so good. So
even their fans are humble. Like, damn it.
Everyone's Oklahoma. Everyone's nice. And so I'm excited. We're going to piggyback with the team and travel a little bit with the T-Wolves and try to guess like we did last year for what hotels they're staying at. With David got some cool pictures with like Dante DiVincenzo in the elevator and hanging out with Julius Randle. And like, it was really cool. So a little bit of that. And then honestly, trying to get back down here. I got my golf swing to work on and my e-foiling. That's what I wanted. I want to get an e-foil up there for the lakes, dude. That shit is fun, dude. I've done like 8 lessons now.
What the hell's e-foiling?
It's
familiar with.
It's a board in the water, and it's got this big. It's called foil, but it's got this like long thing at the end of it, and on the bottom there's like a wing, and then this one, like you can do those, and they're up. But the one that I go on, you got it's electric, and you got the throttle in your hand. So you lay on the thing, and then you hit it in your hand, and it gets going. Now you're just like scooting around in the water, and you pop up on your knees, and then kind of like surfing. It's staggered stance, but you're a little closer, and you're on this thing. And if you gotta like do the cha-cha on it a little bit, but if you lean forward and back, it'll like raise up out of the water, and you're like flying like Silver Surfer on the water. And I've gotten into some water sports. Apparently they do this in Minnesota a ton on the lakes. I didn't know about it.
I was gonna say I've seen it.
Not in January or February.
Yeah, the ice is out.
Not Q1.
The ice is out. You can do it. Throw a little wetsuit on, Dave.
We got ice breakers on these things. We can get the Canada Goose on, and we can get out there and
maybe that's what we need to get unstuck.
You're ice fishing. I'll be on the foil. Come.
Yeah, Dave, can you get out there and check the ice for us? Make sure it's safe out there.
Long as
guys, I'm stuck at the docks.
Or as long as you don't get stuck in the hole. You guys leave Jeremy, my California friends, out of this shit. Like,
hey, I don't think Jeremy's ever gonna come back. He's like,
from what I heard, it's never happening again.
I don't think it will. I think there's only so many injuries you can get from such a chill, not move around activity as like sitting in a fish house and ice fishing. I've never seen anybody get injured once, let alone twice in the same fall. So, I mean, he got the full lifetime experience.
But I mean, at the same point, like when anybody in the state of California searches, should I go ice fishing? Jeremy Jennings' face and saga shows up, and it's a big blog article of like, don't do this. And there's like this little asterisk that says, drugs may have contributed to this poor name. Like, I mean, Dan, the fact that you have like the extended runtime generator now, like that, I think that alone would have stopped Jeremy from breaking his.
He was in the rental one. They didn't have the extended, so he still lights would have went out. He's still, maybe he's got to stay in my fish house. You got to give him a spot. You got to give him a spot, Rob.
Let's just leave Jeremy in California. We can go see him.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
No madness anymore. We had Jeremy out here with Kyla, and we went ATV riding. I flipped the ATV over with my daughter in it. We had our first Puerto Rican hospital experience. It was
there you go. How was that?
Hey, scars build character, and these spoiled little kids need grit.
Toughen them up.
I'm not going to say I did it on purpose.
They need good stories.
Yeah. This is what not to do. Check this out.
It's actually Jeremy's fault. He was the one trying to fishtail. I was just following his lead.
Yeah, Jeremy. Dude's always trying to get hurt, man. He's falling in ice holes. He's trying to fishtail four-wheelers unsafely.
All over the globe.
Safety hazard. Yeah.
Any climate. Bringing chaos.
Can't take that guy anywhere. Well, Hit us up when you're up here, Dave. We'll be around.
I'll be back. I'll touch base for sure. Gentlemen, appreciate you guys having me tonight, man.
Yep.
Thanks for staying up. Rob, are you still finishing your cocktail, or did you finish her?
The wife made eyes.
Okay.
At me,
Well, you
so,
better
bye-bye.
You better go do that. Business
Yes, I will.
Trevor, we were still going, but the boys got something to go do here. Jennings sliding around those corners, baby. Hopefully all right, guys. You guys know what to do. Work smarter and harder. Go earn yourself some pride. Peace out. Good night.